All right, now I'm cutting across to Saurav Akhtania for a little more on that. Saurav, tell us more on the actual impact that this landfall could really have. What are the possible damage? What is the possible damage that the authorities there are expecting? Do we know of any situations like this in the past? We believe of 50 years now since Gujarat has seen this kind of cyclonic storm. In the past, what's been the damage? How prepared is Gujarat to really deal with one as harsh as this?
So earlier, Nabila, there were several cyclones which came to Gujarat coast, the Maharashtra coast, because this was not this is not a very routine thing. This is happening since past 5 years due to climate change. This is what the scientists are telling us, because we have never seen such cyclones in Arabian Sea. Cyclones are very frequent in the Bay of Bengal, but not in the Arabian Sea. But for the past 5 years, we have seen several cyclones like Nisarg, Vayu, Taute, and now this particular cyclone, that's Biparjoy. So for Gujarat, let me tell you, in the coastal areas, Nabila, there are several raw houses which stands very at a dangerous place. Now what happens is the people over there, they don't want to leave their houses because they have their belongings and everything. So they don't feel safe that once they leave the house, then what will happen to the belongings which are there in the houses. Let me also show you this particular visuals over here. What has happened over here is there are several of the houses where people are not ready to leave. What the NDRF officials and the Gujarat government officials have done is they are continuously requesting them that they will give them lock and keys, they will that their homes will be protected, nothing will happen. But also there are still people over there who don't want to leave their houses. So this is when the problem arises. So there are a few houses in this particular area as well, which you can see on the TV screen, that people are not willing to leave their houses, to leave for the shelter home. So that can be dangerous. And remember, the night for the landfall is in the night, and that time it will be complete dark. There will be no electric supply, because the electric supply also been shut down, because if the electric poles actually falls, then it can be very dangerous, and therefore the electricity supply is now shut down. Also the food packets have been already distributed. So this is the problem for worry for the people, and therefore continuous patrolling by the NDRF officials and the Gujarat government officials is being done. Right now it's not raining here in Jamnagar, Nabila, but the gusty winds, it's very dangerous. Right now also you can see that how the speed of the wind is very much high. So we are expecting the situation can get worse in a couple of hours from now, and therefore now the frantic calls which have been made by the official that all the people should now stay inside the house. They should not venture out, especially the small children and the teenagers.
You know, this is an advisory that's been issued, a blanket advisory. Adults or kids, do not venture into the coastline. That's Saurav Akhtania bringing us those images there, while winds really packing at a speed of 150 kilometers per hour. That's how fast the winds are, and even as Cyclone Biparjoy is fast approaching, we know for now that people have been asked to stay indoors irrespective of whether it's raining, not raining, whatever the condition. Considering that they're foreseeing an impending danger, they've asked people, directed them to stay indoors. Except Gopi Mania showed us images of people venturing out like as if they're on an adventure. But this is a warning going out from the Met Department, from the officials on ground, that the impact could be severe. In fact, the real devastation could be seen only once the cyclone is fallen flat. Once it's past its landfall, we'll really see the actual damage. For now, the build-up that you see on your screens here, showing that the cyclone is certainly intense. It's defined as a very severe cyclone, Cyclone Biparjoy, as it's fast approaching. Ashutosh, who was on ground a little earlier at one of those areas, the coastal lines of Dwarka, bringing us this real report showing how the winds are so harsh he was barely able to stand. Let's have a look.
And it's a pre-impact of Cyclone Biparjoy, which has hit the coastal line of West Gujarat in West Kutch. And this is Mandvi Port. And it just started 5 minutes ago. Now literally standing against this current, massive wind speed is next to impossible. And you see the creek right behind me. Just an hour ago almost, there was a clear surface visible. The water level is barely more than 5 to 6 feet. But all you see now, totally a rough ocean with a high current. And all of a sudden, this started barely 5 to 10 minutes ago. All of a sudden, like someone pushed you. So literally, it requires really a resistance to face this kind of wind speed. Though there is a prediction by the Met Department, the cyclone will slow down up to around 10 km per hour. So even in that case, the maximum speed will be 130 to 140 kmph. But you see, this kind of situation, almost the village across this creek of Mandvi, everything is now invisible. So that is how the impact of pre-cyclonic landfall is quite seen here in Mandvi, the part of Kutch, which is going to be the epicenter of this tragedy, as the eye of the storm will be passing through at far distance from here. But the radius of the ice storm is literally bringing havoc. At Mandvi with Sanjay, I'm Ashutosh for India Today.
All right. While we are cutting across to some live visuals of Jakhau port, this is precisely the area where the landfall is going to be fiercely hitting that region. The Jakhau port area now all being cleared up. You have the rescue teams who are clearing most of the... All right, what we hear right now that there's heavy rainfall that's been reported in that region. I'm cutting across to Ashutosh, joining us live for more. Ashutosh, this area there where we see Jakhau port, almost everything that's kept in that port is fully being cleared out now. Ashutosh, tell us more. Are you okay?
Yes, Nabila, seems like nature has literally weaponized these downpours and literally, are you able to hear me? Am I audible, Nabila? Am I audible?
I'm a little worried about your safety at this point. We see really fast, strong winds. Are you fine? Please tell us a little more about the preparedness right there as the security forces, we believe, are clearing out the entire port area.
The port has been evacuated. In fact, we have been reporting for the last couple of days only at the port, and that part has literally been evacuated because we are at the moment just around 800 to 900 meters from the port. So this has helped us as far as intensity is concerned. But even if there are multiple obstructions on the way, the way we are seeing weaponizing these downpours here, hitting us actually, that explains the fury of the cyclone. And this is just, in fact, look at these trees, and they are more likely to be uprooted any moment. And still we see there are some people who are literally careless about themselves and their family members. Despite the warnings and advisories, they are venturing out on the street. And if I could just take a shot on the road, look at this. This explains the nature's fury. It is just the beginning of this cyclone, which is passing through probably, and as we know that there is a delayed hitting at the epicenter is following its trajectory. So in that case, even if there is a delay, the implications, the consequences of that, and while touching on the coastal line, it will take another few hours. So that essentially makes really a long, perhaps a terrible night for the people of Mandvi and all across this region, which will be affected by this cyclone. A severe situation, and it is very difficult to see anything. I see visibility right behind the camera, because if we pan it to that side, there will be totally raindrops covering the lenses, so we won't be able to bring you any picture. So just preventing one side, all I see right behind the camera person, everything is invisible. Look at this wind speed. It has gone literally multifold up since morning that we have been seeing. In fact, it just reminds what had happened at around 10:30 a.m. which was literally making it difficult. But this is just the beginning. We are always saying that this is just the beginning. The full intensity of the arrival of the landfall, or the landfall of the cyclone, will take place at around 8 or 9 p.m. and for next few hours it will take to make an impact on the coastal lines near the populations, the dense population living, be it Mandvi, Sayala or any other region just around. Nabila.